Hello everyone and welcome to the Sandy Zone. Today we'll be doing a speed build of the courtyard and the museum. Please enjoy. Things first though, I'm going to quickly put some patterns under these street lamps before we actually start the courtyard area. Just because I don't really like leaving the area underneath them blank. So I found these cute little black stone patterns to basically just border off the street lamps. If I can get in, I'll actually do it. There we go. Yeah, it's just like a little circle pattern, so I'm just putting them underneath all of the street lamps, and I just think it looks a little bit more full, you know? And with that, all of the patterns are down on the street lamps, so we can move on with the courtyard area. First things first though, I do still need a few items for the courtyard, so I probably will pop into the town hall just for a minute, just to quickly buy some stuff from the catalogue, and then we can get started. While I'm also buying stuff for the courtyard, I think I will get a few more items just for the bit in front of the town hall. Just because now that I look back on it after I finished it, there is a few things I want to add, like certain plants and maybe even the little pots. Just because I think it would just bring the garden bit together, and it would also just make it look like someone's caring for the garden. Right, and with all of that sorted, we can now get started on the courtyard. So I'm just going around my island and grabbing a few things like walls, towers, just because I want to keep the theme consistent with what we have so far. So obviously I've got these castle walls out already, so the whole plan was to have the town hall be like a kingdom, and then have the courtyard at the back of it, and then the museum right at the back of the courtyard, just to frame everything off in the middle. So I'm just putting down all these castle walls first. I do find these really finicky to like fit in with each other because they don't actually connect properly, but unfortunately I am just gonna have to look over that because there is nothing I can do about this, unfortunately. And for this bit and this bit in the corner, I did not want to use a castle tower, so what can you do? We also have this annoying rock in the way, so we're gonna just quickly go back home to grab some fruit, just so we can whack it out of the way. My native fruit for this town is actually pears, so you know, I actually don't like pears, unfortunately, so it was a little bit disappointing when I found that out, but I did manage to get all the other fruits. So do people really know that my native fruit is a pear if I can just lie and just put peach trees down instead? You know. Anyways, with that rock out of the way, I'm just going to quickly take some of my items out because I'm a little bit full on space. And we're just going to continue putting down the castle walls until we build up this courtyard area. I'm just going to have to quickly move some of my items because unfortunately when I placed everything down in NHSE, I just put them all over my island willy-nilly and just didn't like consider future build or anything, because I think I've said this in the previous video, but I do just not plan like my builds for anything. I don't plan anything, I just go with it. So you'll probably see that this video is edited heavily, and that is because I normally just run around for like minutes on end, like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Just because I don't have a plan, and because I don't have a plan, there's usually just a lot of empty space. So I hope you don't mind how edited this video is. I just thought for this kind of build that I've done, when I was looking at the footage, I just thought doing a speed build is probably the best way I can make this footage like look, you know, appealing to you. Also, I think you can guess, but it clearly seems like my word of the day is unfortunately, so if that bugs you, well, That's unfortunate. Just going in, putting in the pergola. Pergola, I think it's called. But yes, the pergola. And I chose this lovely dark variant of it with the orange flowers on top. So with the orange flowers in mind, I probably will be putting down the orange tea olive bushes. But we are not going to do that first because it's important that we put the walls down first to know exactly how much space we have in the middle. So just quickly put these back in, get all the walls in, get the exits in, and then once we've done all that, we can see what space we have left, and then we can start planning out the middle bit, which will be full of different centerpieces just to really make the garden look, you know, fancy and like royal. Just going in and putting these castle towers here just to frame everything off, just so it doesn't look as janky, because I think if I put two walls together in a corner like I did at the bottom, it wouldn't look good, right? So just trust me. So just going in and dropping more items because again, I don't plan anything, so I never have space. So I'm just dropping all of my shit and then we can continue. So just putting the last walls in. This bit I did kind of struggle with because I remember when I was putting all the walls in, it did not line up with the gate. So I think you'll see in a bit, but I did change how the towers look and like their position, just because I think that's what was messing with it. But before I show you, just a quick interlude, it's the next day, bam, we time traveled. And I'm just gonna put all the items that we ordered for this front bit in the town hall, I'm just gonna put them down real quick, just so that's done, and we can just focus on the courtyard and the museum for the rest of this video, instead of getting off topic. I need to fix these flowers as well. It was just more so just looking for stuff to put down in these empty spaces, just because, well, the flowers keep growing back and it started getting a bit annoying. And I know I probably could have just used the invisible patterns, but I thought, hey, why not actually just use the space to put pretty flowers down and just make it look a bit more full and a bit more like a flower garden, you know? That's what we're doing here, putting down the Casablanca lilies and the other flower that I just cannot say. And we have a little interruption from Roscoe, our favorite grandpa. Wasn't looking for treasure, Roscoe, but thanks for the tip. Maybe I'll check it out later when I'm not building stuff. Right, so with that, I'm just gonna quickly see if any of these other items I have will fit in here. I don't really think it'll fit there, but it would be nice to just have some lanterns around, maybe at the sides, just to really brighten up the garden at night. So we're just gonna put them in the corner here, just because it's the only space where they'll fit. And we are now going back in with the castle walls, and this time this should fit in properly now, because I've moved the towers around. Obviously you didn't see that because I edited it, so, but now I should have enough space for all the walls to fit. So I'll just quickly grab another castle wall wherever I can find one, and then we just slot that into there. Never mind, I did not fix it, so quickly gonna have to go and fix it again. Right, so I should have fixed it now, so let's see if this works instead. It was actually the towers that were the problem, so I just had to move them out a little bit more. And with me moving them out a little bit more, it just means that I can now put an extra wall down and fill in that gap. So when we put these walls in, hopefully it'll fit. Let's see. And this time I actually got it right. So now we can start with the inside bit. So I'm just going to boot up Island Designer again. And I'm just going to quickly go into pathing. I found these really cute vents. So I'm just putting them at the front just for some airflow. You know, just because we got a lot of plants in here and stuff, and they need the nice CO2. And we also need the nice oxygen. So just quickly removing the castle towers just so I can put the patterns underneath, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Just probably have to move some of the walls out of the way just to get underneath. But with that, we will have vents on either side. And then I was thinking for the bits in the middle, I will probably just use the cobblestone that I use for the rest of the paths, just because I want the paths and this plaza area to mesh in and fit together. So just doing the other side. Just gonna quickly add some more vents here, just at this pushed out area. Just because, you know, I've got so many vents on the other side, I might as well make it even. So just quickly putting all these vents here. To be honest, you probably won't even see the patterns, but I like knowing in the back of my head that I have it all filled out, you know. But we can go in with a cobblestone now and just fucking go crazy, because, you know, we're filling the whole area with it. So quickly, ooh, gotta get that balloon first, hold on. And it was, oh, round table lamp, who cares. Anyways, I sped it along for you, because who wants to see me put down the same thing 100 times, you know what I mean? So putting down all this cobblestone. I might use another path, who knows, let's fucking see. But at least with all the cobblestone down and stuff, we can just mesh it into the paths, and, you know, it fits cohesively, and that's what we like. Probably will also have to go down and take up the castle walls and the gate and everything, and the pergolas, just so we can get the paths underneath there. Just like how I've done on this side. So we can put down the sides again, just put them back in. And I'll do exactly the same thing on the other side, just take them up, put the pattern down, and then put the walls down. And then we can start adding in the furniture, you know, the actual fun part. Hope you all are liking the music, by the way. It's all of the AM and PM themes from Animal Crossing GameCube, but all of the Winter Edition ones. I just thought it'd be fitting, you know, considering I'm building this in winter. So that's where we got this one. But I love winter as a season, but I actually don't like winter in Animal Crossing. I don't know. I just like how the green grass looks instead, I think, and I'm very biased, and I really like the cherry blossom in spring. So when spring comes around, I'll probably be happy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like how the snow makes my builds look. I'm not really the type of person to, you know, build stuff with winter in mind. I normally build stuff for either fall or spring usually. Just quickly putting these vents underneath here, just because you can unfortunately see snow underneath, and we don't want that. We want it to all fit together. We don't want any gaps. And then we can just put the gate down and all of the other walls. I might have already asked this before, but you know, I don't have that many subscribers yet, so if someone new comes along and watches this video, comment down below what your favorite AM, PM themes are in Animal Crossing GameCube, or you know, just any Animal Crossing like game altogether. What is your favorite AM or PM theme in any Animal Crossing game? Okay, so with all of the side pathing all done, I'm quickly just gonna go in with the dirt path and the cobblestone and just connect some paths leading out of the courtyard just for future builds, just so I don't have to do it later on. And also because I'm gonna have to probably take up the pergola to do it, so just thought I'd do it now, and then we don't gotta do it later. So I'm just using these dirt paths just for now, because I like how the cobblestone looks when it's in another path. And then we just go in, put the pergola back in, and then it's just like a nice transition, you know? Just do the same on the other side. And pergola in. That was an accident. Oopsies. I am still using my PS4 controller that I have not mapped correctly, but don't worry about it. I am gonna quickly put down now all of the furniture in the middle, so I'm putting this lovely park fountain as the centerpiece, just because, you know, it's a garden, and what garden is complete without a really pretty fountain? So just putting this down here. But I was thinking while I was doing this that I could actually add in the checkerboard pattern that I have. So I'm just going around putting dirt in, and then I'm going to fill the dirt with the checkerboard pattern, just to make this fountain really stand out as the centerpiece. Just doing the same on the other side, and then we'll probably take up the fountain just to get underneath it and fill it in. Just remembered here that I'm gonna have to put a little invisible square, just because with putting paths into the in-game paths, they will not wrap around and fit corners like that if you don't have one invisible square for some reason. So if you do not know this, make sure that you have an invisible square, otherwise your path will not round off like that in the corners. It will stay just exactly the same, and it will not wrap around, and you don't want that. I know having the little one transparent square in the middle probably looks a little bit stupid, but unfortunately, that is just how Animal Crossing is, baby. Like, if you want them to fit with the in-game paths, then that's just what you gotta do. Luckily with the checkerboard pattern, it's actually not that noticeable, but I think that's just because, you know, it's snowing for this like season, so it doesn't really matter. You're not gonna see it, are you? Just turn the fountain around as well, just so the seating bit is facing the front, just so you can get a better view of the garden, and it's also a really nice picturesque spot. Just putting in these lovely statues here. They're probably my favourite statues in the whole of the game. I think if you're making any sort of gothic or like elegant town, I feel like the statues, you definitely just need to include them because they are as elegant as you're gonna get. For the statues, I'm just putting them on each side, all the corners here, and I'm just gonna do the exact same thing that I did for the fountain and just make the in-game paths here into circles and then put the checkerboard pattern on top. And then we can put the statues on top and it'll really center them off like that. See? Of course I need to put the checkerboard in first, so let me just quickly do that. If, you know, I start pressing the wrong button and messing it up. Actually, you know what? Actually, no, you know what? I'm gonna stop shaming my past self. That actually looks nicer, I feel. Right. Oh yeah, see, I think the reason why I did it as squares actually, is because you can't actually see it when it's rounded. So that is, I think that looks better. Yeah, okay. I'll get off my own back. So we're just gonna add in some street lamps in the corners and probably just add in some of them ones with the banners too. Gonna quickly go for a little furniture run probably, just because I need a few more items. So I'm just gonna take up these plant partitions because they'll look really good here. Just gonna put them on either side of the fountain just to border it off a little bit. I really wish the camera angle actually worked with me here, because I feel like a lot of the time when I'm building stuff and it's got like a massive wall in front of it, I'm just like, how can I show people what I'm building? The camera doesn't want to cooperate with me. Just putting these plant partitions here though, just because I think it hides the little gaps and stuff with the snow, so I just think it looks nicer. Just going in here, probably just to craft and customize some stuff. So just grabbing some custom patterns that I used for the town hall. Just because I want all of the street lamps in the town. Just to basically have, like, you know what, I just realized I keep saying town, but I do mean island, so I apologize for that. It's just I'm so used to playing the older games and being in a town. But yes, I just want all of the banners in the island to be the same. So just using the same patterns for each area. So I'm just going in, putting the street lamps down, and get a few more plant partitions just because I want to put them in front of the statues. Just like that. If it'll let me. There we go. And then we get some chairs. Just have a nice sitting area for the villagers. And we'll have the chairs on this side. And then we'll also have a set of chairs facing it from the other side. And if I have enough room, I might actually put a little table in the middle. So, just going to put the plant partitions on the same side, just so it's all symmetrical, because I love the look of symmetrical gardens. I just think they have so much beauty in them. Honestly, I think you can tell I kinned Def the Kid as a kid, just for this reason. Just because most of my builds I make in this goddamn game are symmetrical builds. Right, so we got our chairs in, and I realized I actually kind of want to put statues behind these set of plant partitions, just because, like I said, I want to make everything symmetrical. I'm gonna have to go over some of the vents though, unfortunately, because, you know, I don't have enough room. But it's a worthy sacrifice, and to be quite honest, you're probably not going to see the vents anyways, unless you're standing exactly where I am. But who would do that? Don't do that. Don't expose me like that. Right, with them down, I just think that looks a little bit nicer. And it just, you know, it fills in the extra space that we have behind. So, with that said, I'm gonna go in, and I'm just gonna quickly add some dirt paths here. Just because, like I said before, I was gonna add the tea olive bushes in, so I'm just putting them on the sides here, just so it's out of the main pathway for people to walk to the museum or to the other side, if they want to be either on the left side or the right side, depending on where they want to go on the island. So we're just gonna put tea olive bushes down the side here just to fill some space in, and then we will do it on the same side because we want everything symmetrical. Uh-oh, I see Petro over there contemplating. He's not leaving though. He's not leaving. I mean, he'll have to go eventually because he's not technically a villager I want for my town. Like, I love him. I love him. This is no slander for him. This is no hate. I'm not a Petro here at all. I love him. Just putting that out there first. It's just the island theme I'm going for, he does not fit it. I'm not going clowncore. I'm going goth. So I'm sorry, Petro, but like, it's not the vibe. Clowncore's just not the vibe. It's not the vibe on this island. So he will have to go, but he probably will be the last to go. Roscoe, however, he's staying because, you know, he's perfect for this island. He's got the vibe. Just putting the tea olive bushes down here. Like I said, everything must be symmetrical. Obviously, you won't see the orange until I think it's October, isn't it, for these? I don't know. You guys probably will know better than me. But they're quite nice with the snow on top. Right, we're just going in and making the garden tables because I did not prepare beforehand and make them. So we're doing it now. I will customize them to be black, obviously, but I'm just going to make this manhole cover just so I can put it right in the center, just where the museum exit is at the top. Just because, you know, it's just stuff to fill the space with. I was just having a look at the cover designs for these as well, but I didn't end up liking any, so I think I just kept it blank. But like I said, yep, just making these black just so it fits the rest of the garden chairs and benches that I have. Because, you know, this island is going to be like predominantly like black in color and in nature. So, just putting them down now with the little bit of space that we have. And if I can actually get to the other side, we put the other one in. There we go. You know, it just looks really nice and it fills in that little space, and yeah, love it. And then we just put one manhole on the side there as well. Can't get that one as symmetrical, unfortunately, but you know what? Like I said, who's gonna stand right there and be like, it's not symmetrical? So, who gives a fuck? I don't. So you shouldn't. As you can tell though, I clearly gave a decent amount of a fuck, considering how many times I'm trying to place it down. But, we'll not worry about that. I'll just pretend I didn't do that, yeah. Right, so the statues wouldn't be complete without the Turkey Day God stand, so I'm just going to quickly go in here and craft a few. And we're just going to put them on the corners, and then on top, we're going to put the flowers on top of it just to add a little bit more greenery. So just put them in the corners here. That might not be very efficient. You can't get out, so maybe not these corners, but maybe on maybe on the outsides. We will put them on the outsides. Yeah, so we're gonna put them in front of this lamp here, just because then at least people can still use the chairs, and also you can also still get around to get to the museum, even if it is a little bit of a tight squeeze. So we're just putting it in the four corners here of the courtyard, and then I'm gonna just quickly skip ahead because I got a little bit bored halfway through. So I'm just quickly putting in this flower patch, and I'm just gonna put some orange lilies down just to cover the area. I'm gonna have to grab a few more, unfortunately, because I didn't realize I didn't have many. But that's okay. We're just gonna quickly put in the dirt path on the other side, just so, well, I've got the number of how many squares I need to put for the dirt path, of like how big it needs to be, just in my head already. I'm quickly doing it now, just so we have it sorted. And then when we have the flowers, we can put them down here. And then come back in, because I actually skipped a day here, so I have the flowers now, so I'm just putting down some flowers here. Just some planters just to put on top of the turkey stands, just so it really fills them out, you know? Here I'm just testing out whether I like the Casablanca ones or the Terraniums better. I think I opted with the Terraniums in the end. So I'm just going to quickly go and swip these out and use the Terraniums instead. Just because I think the stained glass look of it is very gothic. And here I'm just going to make a little sign for the museum now, because I think we have completed the courtyard at the moment. So I just used my welcome sign that I used in the town hall, and I'm just basically changing the flowers to orange, and then I'm going to put the museum in the middle. Just so all of the signs in the island are basically the same. I think it just looks really nice to have every sign be similar. So just quickly erasing that, and then we're just going to put in museum. I chose orange roses because obviously I've used a lot of orange for the courtyard, so I just thought it would make sense here. I did try to use cursive here for the museum, but didn't really work out very well. As you'll see here, I changed it a bit. I had a quick Roscoe break, just talking to him and giving him some of my items that I didn't want anymore, like these planners. Just you know, every person does it. They give their trash to the villagers. I do. They don't seem to complain. It's fine. Just gonna grab an incline here, just because we're gonna have the museum on a higher platform. Just because it just looks cooler. I don't really have any necessary reason why I do things. Like I said, I don't plan anything. I just do them. So I'm just seeing if this will be a good enough space to leave between the gate and the stairs. So it seems like it is. So I just left it like that. And now we're just gonna go around and build in the general shape of how I want the first layer to look, because basically I wanted the museum to have 2 layers of terraforming. So this will be the first layer, and then I'll have a second layer on top with another incline that connects to the museum. If you didn't understand what I've just literally said there, because I know I said that confusingly, you'll see at the end, don't worry. I'm not really the best at explaining things, but you know, that's why I make videos, so you can look at it too, if you don't get what I'm saying. So just quickly going around here and marking out the general shape, and then we'll fill it all in. after we sort out the sides. I just think that a really good way of mapping out what space you need is doing all of the sides first. And also just say if you want to go for more like a more natural look to your terraforming, I think doing the sides first can really help with that. Because I think if you just go in from the middle and do it, you can't really picture exactly how it's gonna look until obviously you get to the sides if you work from the middle outwards. So it's just the way that I like to do it, but everyone's different, of course. Here I'm just going around and I'm just quickly filling everything up. I did actually speed it up a little bit further here, so if my villager looks like they're on fucking crack right now, that's why. Just didn't want to bore you all too heavily with me patting down the terraforming space. Could you imagine what the sound would have sounded like with the terraforming sound effects? Here I had a little break, as you can tell. It's very tiring, you know. Very tiring digging up mud all day. I would not like to be my villager, I'd say that. You will not find me doing this. Not even if I got the credit for it as the island representative. That's why I have this little person do it for me. At least when we get this base layer in, then we will just terraform the top bit over it. And then when we have the terraform done, we'll go in with furniture, basically map out where we want furniture, and then we will sort out the paths. I know a lot of people probably do paths first and then furniture, but I just find it a lot easier for me to know where I want the furniture placed first before I go in with the paths. Just because I find dealing with the paths the most annoying, so if I can make it as painless as possible and just do the paths once, because I know where they need to go, then I'd rather do that. Just one row left. I always find this part to be the most annoying. I wish they had like an autofill feature for the terraforming. I know I'm being lazy, but I don't know. I just think everyone would appreciate it. Putting in my stairs. And then obviously tomorrow we shall have it. We shall have our stairs. I had to call the rescue services a few times here because I ended up getting a bit stuck because of Lloyd being in my fucking space and not moving out of the way of the fucking door. Thanks, Lloyd. Had to do it twice and embarrass myself in front of fucking Rossetti, but you know what, it's fine. He's got my back. If this was the earlier games, though, I think Rossetti would absolutely rinse me. So now that we've gone and curved the edges next to the door, I'm just going to quickly pay Lloyd here for the stairs so we can get them done tomorrow. And then I have transitioned here because I wanted to take a little break, go to Harvey's Island, just because I've been slowly unlocking stuff. So I unlocked kicks today. And here I'm just going to unlock reds, just because I like being able to get the art pieces as quickly as possible. Just because, like I said, I really like the statues, and usually you can get them a bit faster. I normally try to do each hairstyle for Harriet as well, just because I'm trying to unlock all of them at the moment. Though I haven't actually found one that I like yet, other than the hair that I usually have. But I'm hoping one of the new styles she has that I'll actually like. Because so far, I'm just thinking, like, these are awful cuts. Alright, we're gonna go in, put in our second layer now. As we have, we've had enough of a break, you know. Here I'm just trying to, like, basically do all of the sides and just map out where I want the next incline to be. The inclines, obviously, they need to be, like, 3 spaces away usually, so I'm just trying to make the stairs as close as possible to each other, but at the same time, I know that the inclines need to have one gap between each other, so just mapping that out. Speaking of Reddit, I can actually see him on my island today. Though I did actually forget to go see him, so it's unfortunate. It's what happens when you're building. You forget about your villagers and everything else. Luckily, this didn't take as long to map out the sides, because of course it's a smaller area. So I'm just going to go in now and quickly fill in this middle bit, and then we can actually get started with the designing. I kept accidentally like hitting the corners a lot, so I had to keep redoing them. But that's just it. That's a me issue. That's a fucking skill issue on my part. Nearly done now. Just as a disclaimer for ahead, it's nothing awful or anything. I just actually realized when I was editing this that I did not record the end where I was putting most of the furniture down on the museum layer. So if it cuts directly to the finished part of the courtyard in the museum, I apologize for that. I generally do not know what happened to my recording. I think it just corrupted. Here I'm putting in the next stairs. And afterwards, I'm gonna go quickly talk to the town hall, people in the town hall, talk to Nookie Boy, and go get Blathers and be like, hey, move the museum up here. To be honest, I think you'll quite like being right at the top of the island. Because then it'll mean that more people will come to his museum. I was having a little bit of trouble here trying to place the museum. I did actually cut out a lot of it, but I actually tried about 3 times to place the museum. It's the grids, man. They're not symmetrical. Here I'm trying to figure out if I like the cobblestone better or this smaller stones. I ended up settling for the small stones, but I just thought I'd put them in the dirt path because it looks a lot nicer. And I ended up doing the same at the bottom here. Here I'm just gonna go in, terraform some waterfalls, just because I just want to make this museum bit look really, really grand. So I'm just adding in some asymmetrical waterfalls. I know. I said I was gonna keep it all symmetrical, but I ended up going off course. Like I said, I don't plan. But I am actually gonna make the pond bit symmetrical, so don't worry. I tried to use these paths here first because I really liked how this water looked. It was like stars. But it just did not mesh with the rest of the water, so I just thought, I'll just turn them into actual ponds instead. So here I'm just putting in the water, and I'm gonna make each pond as symmetrical as I can while trying to keep the natural shape, because I don't want it to just be very clean looking. I think when you're making like ponds or even just terraforming, I just think it looks a lot nicer when everything's more natural looking. It's as nature intended, you know? Here I'm going in and just doing the same on the other side. Did realise that it's a little bit difficult trying to make them symmetrical when I made the actual waterfalls asymmetrical. But I did eventually fix it because can't be having asymmetricalness. Not on my watch. I had to keep going back and forwards here just to make sure that I got the general shape right. And with the bottom ponds done, I'm just doing a little bit on the top here. I'm leaving a little segment though of island just because I'm going to actually put some furniture there. Probably just put one of the pillars because I am, with the museum I am going to use the castle walls here as well just to frame it off. But I'm just putting in the bits of water here. Here I actually realised that I actually ran out of, I didn't actually get everything I needed, so I'm quickly customizing the museum sign now because I forgot to do it. And I'm going to just add that on the second layer. Here I'm just putting in some dirt thingies, then put some roses down. Of course, that have to be orange because, you know, we've got the museum sign orange, we've got every other flower and bush orange, you know, we got to keep it all the same color. We got to keep it consistent. So we're just putting a sign in on the second platform, and we're going to just start putting in the castle walls just to cover up the museum exterior so it looks a bit more goth. I did actually try to use that one mod that made all the buildings black, but I did actually have a bit of an issue with it, which is why I'm doing this, because at least I can go play the DLC and still have a gothic looking island, because I don't know why, but for some reason when I had that mod on it just didn't work with the DLC when I was trying to build houses and stuff. Like the building, like Lottie's building was just missing, and like so was the school. It was really weird. Anyways, I'm just going in here and customizing with some more street lamps with you know, the same banners that we used for the town hall and the courtyard, just to keep everything consistent. Also, I'm sorry if my character's clothes at the moment scare you. It was just Festivale in a few days, so I wanted to get it, like, my outfit sorted. I actually didn't realise how scary the mask looked until now. So I'm sorry if my character's giving you nightmares. I tried to put the ruined pillar here and the ruined gate here, but I didn't actually enjoy it, so I think I just settled for the castle wall and then the castle gate in the middle instead. I ended up putting the pillars on here just because I think it just looked really cool. It just makes it more goth. Putting the planters on top of here this time though. I did have to skip ahead the next day just to get the castle gate again because I'm always running out. Just bringing everything forward here, and just to mesh these two bits together, I'm just gonna put the castle tower here, just because it's the only way the walls look good on the corners, unfortunately, since they don't mesh together really well. So quickly just putting the castle towers down. That looks a lot better. And then we're going to put walls on the side, but we're not going to cover this gap here because what I'm going to do is actually fill this bit with flowers, just so the weeds don't grow here. Also, I could have probably just used an invisible pattern here, but it's more just in case if someone somehow gets behind the museum, then, you know, they're greeted with nice flowers and not just nothing. Right, and then we're just going to put in the walls now, just to cover up the sides of the museum. Unfortunately, it does actually bother me that the castle gate doesn't actually line up with the stairs, but I think that's just how Animal Crossing New Horizons maps out all of the grids for each space. So it's unfortunate, but there's nothing I can do about that. Here though, I'm just going to use that checkered pattern that I used for the statues in the courtyard, but this time I am actually going to circle off the path just because I don't want it to be squares here. Just because since it's near the corners of the second layer, I think it'll look a bit too messy. I'm just going to put a flower design at the back just so a weed doesn't grow there. And then what we're going to do is the same thing on the other side. We're just going to put the checker pattern in, and then we'll put a statue down. We're just going to rotate them to the sides as well, just so you can see the wings. I also, unfortunately, did not count how many spaces I had for the top layer, so it is asymmetrical, which is really annoying. But oh well. So I'm just putting this extra. What I'm gonna do with this extra space here is I'm just gonna actually fill it with more flowers and stuff, just so it doesn't look as empty. What I might do as well, just to combat the asymmetricalness, I might actually just try and find a way to block off the sides just so people can't look and notice that like the areas are not the same size. Here I'm just going in and filling in any spots that I've missed just so the weeds won't grow there. Just because it's usually very annoying. Now I'm just going to go in and place the statue. If I stop picking everything up. Again, I still haven't fixed my controller. You're probably sick of me actually talking about this, but I think at this point you can probably guess that I'm never going to sort my controller. And for this next bit, I will just skip ahead to the finished thing, because like as I said before, my recording did corrupt, so the last bit of the process we unfortunately did lose, but this is how it turned out. Just filled in all the extra spaces with some benches, some street lamps, some bushes, and some extra fencing. And this is how it looks in the springtime. It's quite nice, isn't it? And with that, everyone, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please leave me a like. It would help me out a lot. So with that, stay focused, relax, and sleep well, everyone. Goodbye.